Jackie. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad to be here. Happy to meet you and happy to be here.
Me too. This is Donna Nauman. I'm a nurse practitioner, functional medicine nurse practitioner, bringing root causes to the awareness of individuals. I really feel like allowing people to live outside the realm of medicine and learning about different healing modality is really where the healing begins. And so I want you all to meet Jackie today. Jacquelyn Kleine is a musician and she is on Spotify. Her heart is so into it. And I think today you're going to really enjoy her energy and her ability to bring music to a new level for us. So, Jackie, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you got started with this, and what your passion is?
Well, it's I have been a musician for a very long time. Recently, I'm really into the healing modality of music, and I've been creating a lot of recordings that are frequency specific. I have a background in and a lot of work in music therapy and art therapy. Um, I have an educational background, music education, and the well, let's see. I'm a published composer,
Yay.
so yeah, I have sheet music online, and uh, and I'm a performing composer. I've been recently thinking about this idea is that I do a lot of improvisation. When you compose, you are basically receiving music and composing.
Yeah.
Improvisational composition. But a lot of what I do is like real performance composition. So, yeah, I have a bachelor's in music and creative arts, and I have studied graduate studies in special education. So I've worked in that realm of special ed
Nice.
and music therapy. I've kind of taken all of my educational, all my studies, and rolled them into one thing.
Nice.
And that's what I do now.
It's so exciting. Jackie and I were obviously talking a little online before we got on today, and one of the things that really struck me was just how passionate that you are about music, and that music has really been your whole life, like your whole life.
It
And
has
I'm so
been.
inspired by that because I am inspired by people that have found their thing in life and then have followed that dream and allowed that to become something that helps other people do healing work, helps other people see themselves as the best that they can be. So today, Jackie, tell us a little bit about what are the benefits of music? Like music, why is it important?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a huge answer here, but let's kind of get it down. I mean, music generally speaking, it works with your emotions. It works with your, to boost your energy.
Mm.
Um, you can, it just helps. Wow. Like it's really hard to put it all into words, the things that it does for you. But the
I think I've read or I've seen,
like
I do a lot of work with Dr. Joe Dispenzo, and one of his
yeah.
things where he does like images of the brain.
Hmm.
And there's other neuroscientists that do this too. They do
Hmm.
images of the brain off music and images of the brain on music. And those images of when people are playing the right kind of music, I mean, let's be
Hmm.
real, because there are some music that kind of hits a different frequency. But when we're playing that love music, it really lights up both sides of the brain. And
Hmm.
our brain centers are kind of like all over the place. And our artistic abilities come from different sides of our brain. So it's
Right.
interesting that music lightens up both sides. So it really does help
Yes.
with depression and anxiety and
Right.
helps patients just absolutely feel good.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is. Music is what is exactly that, the left and right hemispheres of the brains. So
Mhm.
as you're performing, you're actually operating out of both sides. And music is. I'll come back to what my answer here is. It can center you. Music can center you. It can just basically sync up your whole being. Just kind of sync you up that way too.
It's
Um,
it's amazing. I just bought some healing bowls And that was about three or 4 weeks ago. And I really started playing them. And as I did, I just began to feel differently. Would you say that you have ever noticed that with patients that you worked with?
Yeah, I've done a lot of meditations with the crystal singing bowls, and it'll take you really into a very deep meditative state, very relaxed, very calm. And, many times I get responses like, I was just somewhere else, and, it was so blissful and peaceful and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal singing bowls are really very amazing and very healing too. In They may be tuned in different hertz tunings as well,
Yeah. So
but
when I was purchasing them, the lady that I bought them from was telling me like each bowl can be like a different chakra system. So
mhm.
like I have the heart and the third eye. And I guess like I don't really understand that exactly. Could you maybe explain that a little better?
Right. Yeah, our chakra system, we have the root, we have the solar, we have the root and the
Say,
orange. I'm thinking color. So I'm thinking
oh,
red,
okay.
orange, yellow, green, blue, uh, violet, purple, what is it, violet, and then white. So what were you saying? The heart is anahata, is the Sanskrit word for it, and green, and it is supposedly the note F.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've been doing some research more on the frequencies,
Uh-huh.
and 432 frequency, and where it doesn't actually go with the same sort of tonal system. Now, the first tonal system I learned to the to the chakra system was starting with the note C, and so it would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, an octave, a
Huh.
whole 8 notes octave.
And so
So
that kind of aligns with the chakra system. So does the
it does.
root a
Yeah.
C?
Well, okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Um, when you are tuning to, in the tuning system, we usually tune to A, okay? And recently I've been finding the research shows that they're starting on A as the root.
Huh.
And so, in other words, it would be A, B, C, D would be the heart,
Huh.
E would be the throat, F, G, A. Um, so that I resonate with that idea better
You-
instead of having like the note C as the root. Now, it basically we're talking about frequencies.
mhm.
So
Well, can you
the
explain frequencies a little bit? Like when I think of frequencies, I think like phone frequencies or
oh
like,
yeah
but the heart's on a frequency because like the heart has to beat lub dub lub dub lub dub lub dub, and the
mhm.
breath has to breathe in and breathe out. And those are two frequencies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are made of vibration, and so we have a frequency. Each of us have our own frequencies that also change from time to time too. So we can raise our frequency too. We can raise our vibration. Um, let's see if I can back up to the tuning part of it, the 432.
Mhm.
432, I'm choosing that one right now to talk about a little bit because it probably is one of the most healing frequencies, and there's a good reason for that. Maybe I'll get back to that in a minute. But the alignment of the chakra system, it aligns with the frequencies of sound and color. So they totally are part of one another. The light, the sound, the electromagnetic light, it totally dovetails with the sound frequency. And so if we're going into 432 as the root chakra, there's a sound, the light is red. The light electromagnetic field is red. And
Hmm.
each of those have what I just kind of learned from an engineering friend of mine. is that the electromagnetic field of light and the sound and color actually goes far higher in frequency than does sound. So
And
that's
it's
an interesting thing.
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. But nonetheless, I mean, they do dovetail. So like the frequencies are there. Um, to say like a C in the old way of my thinking used to be a C scale. Instead of now, it's more alignment with an A.
Huh.
So I kind of changed my thinking about this over the
Well,
years.
I change my thinking all the time, depending on, like you have
What you learn,
that's exactly right. And
yeah,
it is a
mm-hmm,
learning process because you
right?
can learn about frequencies before you learned about music. And you can learn about music till you learn the notes. Like everything
Oh,
builds up on itself. And I think
oh yeah, yeah.
you're talking about color frequencies too.
Mm-hmm,
I've seen that grid before, and it's a
mm-hmm.
frequency grid where down here is like guilt and shame, and up here is like feeling
Ah,
joy. And
I've
I
seen
think
that.
it's interesting because we are oscillating down in this lower third.
Yeah.
We really want to be up here. And so if we played music or we wore certain colors,
Mm-hmm.
looked at certain colors, they can begin to bring us up closer to that top frequency. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Um, there are days, I wake up and I think like, well, I kind of chose a bright color today. Just kind of keep energetic going, kind of,
Uh-huh. Me
high
too.
frequency.
Orange.
Yeah, yeah, orange, just like bright. Yeah. Um, but there might be days that I might choose a more subdued color of blue or something like that. And my body will tell me intuitively, I will know, you know, what do I need today? Body talks to you. What do you need today? And like you need a little bit more get up and go. You need that root chakra. You need some red. You
Uh,
know, you need that power. A little bit more aggression today. Get up and
ah,
go. So that whole idea dovetails into the idea of more powerful music that is faster. Um,
so
it
when you're
just
feeling down, play faster music.
yeah, I mean perhaps that might be what you need. Yeah,
I,
because if you're not, if you're down, you're kind of in that lower frequency. um, you don't really need meditation music to bring you down any lower, right?
I never
uh,
thought of it like that.
yeah, right.
Huh.
That's why rhythm too, drumming is, and percussion in general, is so good for people. um,
Why? What does drumming do?
Oh my goodness. Uh,
You like that question?
yeah, well, yeah, I do very much. Yeah, because I've experienced it a lot. Um, drumming in general, I have a long time ago. This is a neat story because I happened to just love this little fellow I was working with. Um, he had a hard time working with his arms. Okay, he had low motor control, and but he had a wonderful uh, propensity for rhythm. And so we drummed with drumsticks. And not too long, a few months, he started gaining motor control and rhythm. His rhythm was off the chart. I mean, he was,
Really?
yeah, oh yeah, he was. Well, he was a autistic and Down syndrome.
Hmm.
So many times these lovely folks are like that. They just had that propensity for music in general. And I mean, that, just, I was so excited that worked so well. So, like, he was in training his system, he was,
And you
building up his muscles. Yeah,
drumming.
drumming, yeah, right. And that rhythm control and just enjoyment. So, here's more of the answer to, what does music do for you? I was kind of tongue tied because, like, there's so much. There's
Uh-huh.
like so much. Um, yeah, that's entrainment. So when it comes to like maybe your audience and things that I have participated in before, is drumming sessions where you can all get together and use hand drums, um, djembe, tubano, or whatever you have. And it's really great because once you come into sync with each other, you're in training. It's like your heart, your bodies are all in training with each other person.
Huh.
And
I
it creates community.
I
Creates
remember
community.
sometime far back seeing something about that drumming and how when people do it in groups,
Mm-hmm.
they begin to make music
Mm-hmm.
without really knowing it. Because the body and the mind and the spirit kind of all come together and they begin to like become a unison of an orchestra.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh,
I guess entrainment, that
yeah.
might be kind of the sort of thing. Yeah. Uh-huh.
How about
Uh,
that? It's so
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think creating music in general, creating anything in general, will bring you into a more elevated position. I mean, your frequency will start rising. So,
It always feels
yeah.
better.
Art.
And I never really thought like
Yep.
I'm like learning a lot today. I never really thought about the meditative, like when I'm down and then I go into meditative music, that I don't feel better when I come out. I just never would put that together because everybody's always talking about meditating is so good. Meditating is
Well,
good.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, meditation is like, I don't, as far as I'm concerned, I've been maybe meditating now for going on 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's integral. It's just integral to your well being.
I agree 100%. It's a total
Right,
healing. And think about that as far as music and energy. When you are being quiet or you're being meditative, you are reducing all those stress hormones that allow your brain to become enlightened to like what's going on in the world and inside of you, which is
right,
a healing process all in of itself. Yeah.
right,
So
right.
tell us, I think for a while you were you used music in therapy. You were talking about the gentleman that with the drums. What
Yes.
other kind of success stories did you see with patients as far as seeing different kind of healing things going on? I think it's important for people to understand that what we're really talking about here is how to heal ourselves, how to take the reins in our healthcare and really begin to learn to do some of these things. But they also need to know, like, you have a lot of success stories of people that did amazing things just through music alone.
Mm-hmm. Or music combined with art,
Yeah.
and music combined with art and movement. So I've kind of had, in the past, I've run specific groups where we would do these sort of things. Yeah, I, I think that it. I heard one time that if you're singing, you can't be down. I think that's true. Yeah, and where a lot of us go like, "Oh, I can't sing." Well, you can. I mean, you can make sounds. You talk, don't? If you talk, you can make sounds. So
Yesterday, I was at the grocery store and there was this kid sitting on the step. I guess like maybe he worked at the grocery store and he was sitting on the step and he had earphones on. He was singing as loud as he could. Like you could hear him all the way across the parking lot and he did not care. And he wasn't a great singer, but he wasn't awful. But I was like, yay! Like, let your music out, do your thing. Like
yeah,
you could tell, like he was in a meditative state in his ears, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "That's what we need to be doing more of: is
mm-hmm.
being who we are, and
Yeah,
using our
yeah.
voice."
You've
Yeah,
got you've got music inside of you. If you're vibration, you're musical.
yeah,
You know, we're just not aware that we can make that vocal cord vibrate and create more of a harmony. It's a release when you do that. When you're chanting, when you're singing, and you can. What, so like when you're toning,
uh-huh.
I mean, you can start with Om. I mean, you can start with anything. Ah, yeah. And
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't
yeah.
have to be in tune.
That is
But you
that is a it changes the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. So like people who are having lots of stress and anxiety, they create all these elevated heart rate, elevated, the breath becomes shallow and fast, and they
right.
become all nervous and things. Well, that's the sympathetic. When we begin to do these humming, the things we're talking about, the humming and the music and the singing, it is stimulating that vagal nerve that
Mm-hmm.
just pushes us right into the parasympathetic, which,
Abs-
yeah.
it's
And
it's so cool that you have all of this medical stuff. That's great.
I love science. Like I'm all about that. I don't understand how to play music, but I understand like the science part of it because I really want people to understand that they have to practice wellness. Like they have to practice, and there's a reason. Like music doesn't just make you feel good for no reason. There's like scientific proof and data that shows that
Mhm.
these things are so cool. Um, yeah. So
Yeah,
were you gonna share some music with us today?
I am. Can I say one quick thing to what you just said?
Yeah.
I think it's imperative that we take control of our health, and we can do it through music because we have to kind of like combat what the bad type of frequencies that are out there. Okay, you know, like you were talking about the phone and all. I mean, we have frequencies around us that are not good for our health. So we really do have to kind of combat that. And music is a way to do that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, did you like the EFT, the electrical currents like from the phones and the computers and all that, those cause frequencies in the house
Yep.
and like living by certain kinds of electrical poles and things like in your neighborhood can also have
Mm-hmm.
effect on your electrical.
Sure does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure does. So that's the kind of frequencies you can't really get away from, but you can take good care of yourself. You know, you can do something about it.
Mhm.
And I think that if you're aware of that, you can. I'm sure that you already do a lot of talking about food and nutrition and exercise, um, the fresh air and just nature in general.
Nature
That's what.
brings tones too, doesn't it?
Yes. So I have some one of my very first recordings. I have 3 albums out right now,
Nice.
and one of my very first recordings, I used sounds of nature. So it was like flute, which is my main instrument,
Mhm.
Native American flute, and birds, bird sound or ocean, and what else did I put on there? Thunderstorm.
Nice.
So yeah, so that was my very first album called Lyrical Breezes, and
Beautiful name, Lyrical Breezes. I like that.
yeah, I think out of all of those, I like the Thunderstorm. But see, with me, there might be something that I need. Maybe I need that electrical charge. So that was one thing I did want to say is that not one size of music fits all.
Hmm.
Okay. So, like, if one thing is not really working for you, like the meditative music, you probably need to get going. You need some energy. You need to drum. You need to listen to some rock and roll, or something. Um, or maybe you need to change frequencies. You know, maybe you need to get out of the 440 hertz, which is has been up until now. It's really changing. It has been the universal tuning frequency. But oh, can I talk about the cymoscope a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where we're headed. I will play some music in a little bit too. Some
Fine.
recordings I have. Um, we musicians tune to specific hertz tuning, and it has been 440 for a very long time. That was kind of decided by a group of German doctors, and that a long time ago. I want to say it was like in the 1935. Don't hold me to that date, but I think so. Yeah, don't
We
hold me to
weren't
that.
born yet, so what do we know?
Right. Yeah, yeah, right. However, we then had to stay with that too. But the 440 hertz actually, and now this is a really cool thing. There is a man who's done a lot of research about tuning and the hertz and its effect on the body and you know the therapeutic things and the detrimental things and all of that. And he uses a thing called a cymoscope. It basically is a metal plate that you put sand on.
Hmm.
It has amplification underneath it, and it'll play certain frequencies. the range of frequencies. Is, there's a huge range of frequencies,
Yeah,
and
I think when I'm
this,
meditating, I see like 540 or like see these higher frequency numbers.
yeah, right. There's a lot. So what happens is that as the frequencies are creating the vibration on the plate, they start creating these geometrical patterns. It's beautiful geometrical patterns. So it's kind of like sound made visible. And that's John Stuart Reed. That's
I'm
his
gonna write
thing.
it down. John
Yeah, John
Bert
and Stuart, Stuart, and
Reed,
Reed. I think Reed is Reid.
Reid. Okay.
Yeah, that's his research and his baby. But what happens is
So
that the
vibrate. The plate is vibrating with salt,
it's sand on a plate, a metal plate.
and then it's
There's
making.
well, it's the sand itself will create specific geometrical patterns.
Oh, on the
Okay,
plate.
on the plate, yeah.
Oh,
And as the frequencies change, so does the geometrical beautiful patterns.
I'm gonna have to
How
look this up. That's so
Oh,
fascinating.
yeah, CymaScope, CYMA scope, SCOPE. So what happens with the 440 hertz tuning is that those geometrical patterns are not so perfect.
Hmm.
They have, like, they may create, like circular waves or whatever, beautiful patterns, but there will still be some sand that's a little bit scattered around, okay? Scattered,
So
It's just
not
a
in
little,
all 100% alignment.
right, it's just a little bit, alignment's just a little bit off. And, but then when you go to 432 hertz, which they say is our natural hertz, and that it is more in tune with the Schumann resonance of the earth.
Mhm.
Um, when you play 432, all the patterns are like beautiful, and all the sand is aligned, making the patterns and not dispersed around. So,
Huh.
that kind of it's kind of a scientific thing that just kind of proves that that 432 is probably better. I haven't seen the 444 hertz,
Mhm.
but a lot of people these days are really interested in. A lot of YouTubers will put out frequency things you can listen to, and they're very interested in 528 hertz. And
I
528 hertz, they say is uh, what was it? A C was the note, if I remember right. And I happen to like the 444 hertz a lot. And I realize why is that because it sound to me, oh, I'm going to stop myself because
I love it.
I,
The
I,
creative genius is like,
yeah, right. I don't want to give it away. It's like
well,
I'm going to play some music,
okay, I love it.
recording of my, and if I don't, and if I, t- in other words, I don't want to sway everybody. Because I want to see which 432 or 444 sounds better to your audience.
Okay.
Man, I almost gave it away. Well, anyway, maybe that's a good time. Should I move into the music
Sure,
then?
go right ahead.
Okay, all right.
You're the showcase.
Great. Oh boy. All righty. Well, we'll do that. So I have some recorded music, and I'm headed towards creating an album of flute frequencies. So it'll be very healing. It'll be a healing album basically. So meditative and healing. And on that album, I'm not sure yet. I shouldn't talk further about it, but I have two recordings right now, and the song is called Tranquility, and one is in 432 and one is in 444.
Okay.
So I'm going to play it, and I won't tell you
Which is which?
which is which. Yeah, until later. All
Okay.
right. Okay, let's see if I
Can
can
we
get this.
close our eyes?
Good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. Okay. Hi, Donna. You can come back now.
Okay.
um, how'd they make you feel?
I liked it. I was seeing green, like a green color.
Wow,
It was really
that's
pretty. It
cool. That's cool.
was really
Yeah.
pretty.
Um, well, should I play the next one or what do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so I won't tell you which is which,
Okay.
but we'll go to the next one now. And I think I've got it queued up right, I hope.
I'm sure it's gonna be fine. It's fun. Get to meditate. Your music is beautiful.
Thank you. It's gonna come on.
They're both
Could
wonderful.
could you tell the difference?
I
How?
felt like the second one was, should I say? What people are watching.
Yeah, you get to.
So the second one I felt was like a little, it took me up a little bit higher. I saw white light this time instead of green. but I felt like I also went deeper and higher.
Wow,
I
that's
don't,
interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Um, Without saying what they are yet, I will also say that gives me the very same experience, more lifted, more elevated.
huh?
So, okay, so the first one was 432, and it is a little bit richer to
Yeah.
me. 432 seems richer, and it probably even has more of the frequencies, overtones of music, more. And as the CymaScope shows, that it's totally complete. But I feel it's grounding. 432 is like really grounding and earthy grounding.
Mhm.
But the other one was 444, 444 hertz. And I prefer it to when I do my own recordings. It's like I go, yeah, I think, that one kind of brings me up a little bit higher. Not always, though. I mean, some of my recordings I'll go, nah, I really like it better in 432.
Uh-huh.
So I think it just kind of shows you that not all one frequency, one kind of music fits all.
I love
It's kind
that.
of like
Like,
what you
that
need.
totally describes everything that I felt about them.
Uh huh.
Tell me, what is the difference between what is a hertz? Like, what if like how do you play a 432 hertz versus a 444 hertz? Like, is it different where you put your fingers on or
Yeah,
like
good
is it
question. It's a good question. Yeah. Well, basically, most of my instruments are tuned already and created, already made in 440, which is that frequency that disperses and it's not as healthy. They're already made in that because that's been the norm. Okay.
that's
I have some Native American flutes that a lot of Native American flute makers create them in 432. So I have a healing flute, a bass, a very large flute. It's beautiful. It has crystals in it, and it's just gorgeous.
oh,
Um, and it is
I have to take a
it.
picture of that later and send it to me.
If I could jump up and grab it, I would show it to you, but I can't step over all my cords. Anyway, the bass. I do have a recording of it though.
Yeah.
Um, I could play that, or I could also play my other thing that I
I will let
showed.
you decide. You do what you feel guided.
Oh, but you'd have to choose. Well, anyway, let me finish real quick about what that is. Okay, so I have only a few instruments that are actually made in 432 hertz. Okay, now I don't really actually have anything made in 444, but via my programs, my recording and engineering programs, I can convert my music files to whatever I want.
That's so
So,
like out there, like engineering, like like I think of music, all I think of is all the different sounds that are going on. I don't think about like these hertz and these frequencies and
yeah,
electrically how they're going through the instrument to produce this. Oh,
yeah.
that's so
Yeah, there's
wow.
vibration patterns that go through your instrument, and there's yeah. I could go into like how the instruments play, but basically, so it's like you're creating a something with your mouth or your vocal cords when you're singing, you're vibrating. So
Mhm.
you're creating a vibration of some way or other with your instrument or your voice, and you get a wave pattern going. And if you're playing an instrument and you have keys down, or whatever you're doing,
Mhm.
then it kind of closes off part of the frequency pattern and creates another frequency. So,
Is that the biurnal beat?
oh, the bite, yeah. No, oh, I'm not even sure if I can. I'm not even sure if I can really tell you binaural. Yeah.
Binaural.
I don't even know if I can really explain that, but I think what happens is that you've got two frequency patterns. They create these on apps that you can buy, frequency generator apps, and you will have like a basic delta alpha range or whatever frequency range you're in, and they'll have one, the left side, the right side, and they're just slightly off. And I think that's what creates the binaural.
Huh. Yeah, I think that, but
Uh, I can't go any further than that.
yeah, you have to wear earbuds to do that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So
You
that
don't have
brain
to.
is
You don't have to, but I don't. You can see I'm wearing like headphones right now, and I do this a lot because in my studio when I am working with the files and stuff, I'm not sure it's really good to do those earbuds and phones a whole lot. We probably all need to be a little bit careful with that.
because of the frequencies that they're creating.
Yeah, I mean, they say that maybe they're not so healthy
Yeah,
to continually do it.
I've seen MRI pictures of kids because their bones aren't all the way formed on their head, and if they have the phone like up to their head, they do these scans, and they can see that frequency going inside to the brain. It's so fascinating, so fascinating. As we get
Oh, I
older, that
know.
bone forms. We don't get as much, but we're still getting a frequency that's coming from the phone into
Right.
the brain. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're so right.
Yeah. Well, I just remember that, okay, so like I'm using a lot of stuff on my ears. Okay, take them off, take a break, go outside, put your feet on the ground, breathe, get away
Gone,
from
gone,
all the,
breathe. Gone, gone, breathe.
yeah, away from the electronics. We have to get away from the electronics too. Um,
I'm so
but
glad you brought
anyways,
that up. Yeah, that's important. I mean, we're talking about the good things of frequencies, but we also need to be aware that there are bad frequencies too. And
a
although
lot.
you can't see that you and I are not in the same room together, and this wavelength is going,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even get it. It's like
Yeah,
so
I know.
boggling.
Right. It's,
There has to be
yeah.
these frequencies that's going.
Yeah, right, right. And a lot of those frequencies will have like a very smooth sine wave, or they may have a very jagged one.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of our electronics have that, jagged wave,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I just love this. This is great stuff. So we've learned a little bit about music as therapy. We've learned a little bit about the chakra system. Learned a little bit about the 444 versus the 442, 432,
432.
how those are different. Is there some other things that music calms the brain? Yeah, I like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Singing,
Singing and
humming.
toning. Yeah. I mean, I really want to encourage people not to be afraid of their voice. Don't be afraid of your voice, you know? And each of us, I've heard, and I resonate with this idea, we have a tone. We have frequencies going on all the time. We are vibration. So we have an internal tone going on. If you really are really in tune and meditate in a meditative state, you listen to your body and you may be able to hear your tone.
Isn't that
And
interesting?
and then you could also produce it and sing it. Um, but don't let your lack of music or knowledge about singing or anything hold you back. Um, just let your vocal cords vibrate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we already
yeah.
vibrate. Yeah, we've already vibrate negative conversation into the world. Maybe
Ah,
using
yeah.
vibrational noises coming and humming would
Yep.
be such a better way to vibrate into the universe. I mean, I really think of words and thoughts and music, and they're all come in patterns, just frequencies, like what you're talking about, and thinking a
Right.
different thought and saying a different story and using the voice for good, for healing is very
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. I reminded about our thoughts. What we put out into the world and what we receive is all about our health, for
Yeah.
sure.
They
Nice.
were receiving so many good things from you.
Thank you.
So beautiful. So did you want to play us one more piece of music?
You said, okay, so you said play, and I thought, okay, we'll do, I'll play
Yeah.
my hand pan. I'll play
Okay.
my,
I'd
it's
love
kind
to
of a
hear.
hybrid. Yeah. Um, right. So, okay, we'll get going. I gotta put it into position.
Are you gonna sing?
Am I gonna sing? Not.
Do you sing?
I do sing. I vocalize mostly. Like, A lot of singer-songwriters have their, I don't really do that. I'm more of an instrumentalist, but something I've been doing in the past years is using my voice as in vocalizing and using it as an instrument.
Huh.
So, so you see, I've got mallets in my hand, and I'm going to be playing my handpan. Here, I think I can. Oh, that's what I'm going to play.
Wow. That's beautiful.
It is, isn't it? I
Ah.
was excited to find this. Okay.
That was a lot of different kinds of music coming out of one instrument.
I kind of did it on purpose. I was trying to take you through like kind of fast rhythms
Mhm.
and some softer sounds, some slower sounds, some more rhythmic sounds. And you can kind of see where the different patterns of music and rhythm and you know, the um, the combinations of notes and things like that can put you in different states. I kind of did it all at once. Maybe that wasn't good. I don't
I think it was
know.
absolutely absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
Like,
great.
I'm so thrilled to have you here today. Like, this was so much fun learning that I don't know, like, I just think we all have to start thinking outside the box and
Yeah.
sitting in the music today and asking your question, like, what makes you feel better? And for
Yeah.
many people, the 432 or the 444, it doesn't matter which one it is. It matters that you know which one is best for you. And
Yeah.
that when you're listening to it, it is uplifting. I think that's one of the things that you have kind of taught me over our last couple conversations is being more in tune with ourself and understanding that these things do have frequencies and they matter.
And they matter. Yeah. Great. Cool.
Well, isn't frequency matter? You know,
Yeah.
frequency is mood, which creates a matter, which creates a
Yeah.
smile or a frown or whatever, which does turn into matter, so to speak. So,
Yeah. Right.
yeah. So, how can people find you if they want to buy some of your music, get to know you better?
Well, I have a link that is an all-inclusive link,
Mhm.
and it's pretty easy. It's a solo.to link, and it starts with an HTTPS
Mhm.
colon dot backslash backslash solo 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 dot to and then there's a backslash
Mhm.
and it's electric flutist, all one word. Okay,
Great.
so it's the HTTPS colon backslash backslash SOLO dot TO backslash electric flutist. And
Nice.
you'll find all my music Spotify. You can just listen. You can listen, and I have music for digital download. I have compositions. My website's on there. My Facebook page. Let's see if I remember everything. I love it because it's all in one place. So
Nice.
yeah,
Very
great.
nice. And I would imagine if they just Googled Jacquelyn Klein, Klien, right?
Well, almost. It's KLEINE.
Okay, so if they Googled that, they would be able to find you.
Probably. You'd have to spell my name right.
Sorry.
No, no, I know this. It's a little bit hard to spell. Jacqueline is
Yeah.
JACQUELYN. Yeah. Others spell it differently.
Yeah.
And then G period Klein, KLEINE. It's a little bit French German name, but
Yeah. Well, I can put those down at the bottom when we get
links.
ready. Yeah. Yeah.
Super, super. That's cool. Yeah.
Well,
Great.
Jackie, thank you so much. That was so amazing. You're very beautiful and you have such a gift and talent, and you're sharing it with the world, which is beautiful, amazing, really.
Thank you. That's my goal. Yeah.
Keep up your passion for what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Super.
All right.
Nice meeting you so much, Donna.
Nice
Nice meeting
meeting
you.
you
Okay.
too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.